Welcome to Table Talk with Uncle Luke, y'all. And right now we're highlighting domestic violence. We have the lovely Jennifer Duffy with us. This episode is sponsored by Elite Construction, y'all. Elite Construction, they take care of all your construction needs. Roofing, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, demos, rehabs, flips, whatever you need, Elite Construction can help you. Their information is available on this podcast right here. You can see their number right here. We'll go ahead on and list that and let's show their logo. And then now we're off, How's it going?
It's going good.
It's been a long time. Yeah. It's been a long time. So tell us about yourself.
My name is Jennifer Duffy, and
Her name is Bird.
No, Jennifer.
Everybody knows that Bird. Jennifer Duffy.
Thanks. Everybody knows me as Bird. I'm from Karen Crow.
From Karen Crow.
Yeah.
So you are a survivor.
Yes,
of
I am.
Domestic violence.
11 years.
11 years.
Well, it's going to be 11 years October.
Gotcha. So how did this relationship begin?
Well, me and the guy went to school together. We went to middle school together, actually. So that was over 20-some odd years ago. Mm-hmm. And we reconnected over Facebook, of course, and just started talking from there. About
what age was?
This was when we first...
Well, and when you reconnected?
Oh, this was 11 years ago, so 33.
33, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
So y'all started dating and...
Yeah, we dated. It was good.
It was good.
We only dated for 3 months, actually.
3 months.
Yeah.
So in that time of dating, when did you notice any red flags or anything?
I didn't. We didn't have, we had normal arguments like a normal couple.
Like a normal couple. So y'all was actually a legit couple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were a legit couple, and we'd have little arguments, but we've never gotten to that point. Never did. Okay.
So it just happened all of a sudden, or was there, you didn't see nothing that can, the arguments got more severe, no physical altercations prior to the...
As hard as it may seem to, as hard as it is, yeah, it's never happened. Nothing like that ever happened before at all. It just happened that one night.
The one night?
That one night.
So you want to tell us about that event?
Okay. Well.
And what led up to it?
Okay. So it was the Friday. We broke up the Friday, and so the weekend passed. Then the Monday came. Went to work like normal. I came back that evening. It was actually his birthday. Came back that day, and that night he was dropped to my house, and like I told him, I was like, you need to tell your cousin to come get you because there's no reason for you to be here. We broke up.
Okay, so y'all had broken up,
mm-hmm.
and they just dropped him to your house.
He was thinking that we was gonna get back together.
I got you, because it was his birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So after a while, his cousins made some kind of excuse of why he couldn't come back and get him. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'll just bring you home. Mm-hmm. And I went to tell my daughter. She was 9 at the time. I went to tell her I was leaving. I was going to be back. And we got in the vehicle and we left. And like I said, I was living in Karen Crow. And he was in Bro Bridge. So we left from my house in Karen Crow and rode down to Bro Bridge when I was going to drop him. And while we were driving, we did start an argument. I can't tell you what it was about because I don't remember. Mm-hmm. We started arguing, and as I'm driving, because, I was driving, as I'm driving, he actually swung on me. And you know me, I've never been in a relationship like that, so I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, it caught me by surprise, and I'm looking in the rearview mirror like, bro, I'm bright as hell, and I'm about to have a bruise. Mm-hmm. I have 4 older brothers and a daddy. It's not looking good for you. Mm-hmm. So, I make people laugh when I say this, but I watch TV, and I know in that instance just to keep my mouth shut and go about my business. So that's what I did. I kept driving, and next thing I know, I woke up 8 days later in the bed. I didn't know what happened. When I woke up, I was laying in the bed with my mama. My mama was laying next to me. And I'm in a spare bedroom at my mama's house, and I'm like, what's going on? Why am I laying down in this room? And she started to tell me what happened, and I looked at her, I'm like, no, you're lying. That didn't happen to me. And she was like, yeah, Jen, it did.
So you just driving, he hit you, he swung on you, and then the next thing you know, you just wake up
8 days later.
8 days later. You just blacked out after that.
Yep.
So what all transpired?
Till this day, I really don't know exactly what happened, but from the stories that I got, like I said, I remember I left my house. We left my house at like 9, 10 o'clock that night, that Monday night. Somewhere driving, he knocks me out. I don't know if right then and there if he beat me, or if he beat me throughout the night or whatnot. But again, we left my house at like 9, 10 o'clock, and my mom and them wouldn't call till Tuesday at noon.
Wow.
To see where I was. And the thing about that, like I said, my daughter was 9. She was in 4th grade at the time, and she really woke up, ready for school. And she was like, no, Mama, I'm not going to school until y'all find my mama, because something is definitely wrong. And she's 9. And so good thing she remembered where his sister lived, because she brought my mom and my daddy to his sister's house. And when they got to the sister house, that's when they called him on the phone and said that I was almost dead, pretty much. But the story that I did get was that sometime in the night he did beat me. And at some point, I want to say at 4 o'clock Tuesday morning, he actually drove the vehicle that we were in with me in the back, all discombobulated and all. He drove it to, there's a little side street by Lafayette General. Mm-hmm. And he drove it there, and he parked me in the vehicle, and he parked it there, and he left it there. I think it's a sleep center or something on the side. Wow. And didn't go to the hospital. He just left it there, and he walked to his mama's house, to his grandmother's house, which was by the keg, and told his uncle pretty much I fucked up. And his uncle then came on a bike and found me in the vehicle, still didn't bring me to the hospital. Wow. They brought me back to the grandmother's house, and like I said, this is 4 o'clock in the morning. They brought me back at the grandmother's house, and I was just there. I've seen pictures. If I didn't know my tattoos, I would not know that was me on the pictures. In the hospital, they had to literally hold my head up to take the pictures. I had 2 black eyes. A broken jaw. I had broken bones in my face, and I have 3 metal plates in my face now that I have to live with for the rest of my life because of the injuries that I had. Wow. I don't know. I still have some kind of nerve damage in my face, and I may never get that feeling back in some parts of my face. My jaw was wired for 3 weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah, and like I said, I had 2. I guess God just knew I couldn't see myself like that, so he had my eyes closed for the 8 days while my black eyes went away. And I was up and talking, and I was in the hospital for 4 days after it happened. They brought me to, when Mom and them came, when Mom and them got to the grandmother's house, the ambulance was actually there. And I found this out from talking and doing other things like this, that my daughter actually passed out from seeing me the way she did, because she actually saw me. I was told that she actually came in the ambulance while I was there, and she was more worried about my face getting back to normal. Mm-hmm. And that's all she could ask them, is my mama's face gonna get back to normal? Wow. And it was rough. It was rough. And I still don't believe that could have happened to me.
Especially with no warning signs, no years of violent issues or violent arguments or anything, just all of a sudden, snap of a finger. Now, whatever happened to him?
We went to court. They actually caught him 2 days later. He showed up to his mama's house, and his mama actually called the cops to get him. He was sentenced to 22 and a half years. He can't get out on probation or anything. He has to do the full 22 and a half years. And he actually is in jail on a second-degree attempted murder charge. Wow. The judge that was over my case, he said in his 20, 30 years of being a judge, he has never seen a case like mine with a survivor. Wow. Every case that he has done had somebody dead in it. Yeah.
Fatality.
Right. Wow. Even my little girl's father, he came when, of course, they called him because he had to come see about my daughter. And By the time he got here, he was helping mom and him clean out the vehicle, and he was like, Jen, honestly, the inside of the vehicle looked like a murder scene.
Jesus.
We don't know. I've gotten stories that at some point he thought I was dead. He actually asked his cousin, how can he get rid of a dead body? He got rid of all the insurance papers and everything inside the vehicle. The rearview mirror was gone, and some believe that he was possibly thinking of burning me in the vehicle. Yeah. Right.
This. Oof. You got me emotional now. So I mean, how are you today? Like, I've seen you before, and I see that, I know you went through a lot. I've seen pictures, and how you persevere through everything. I mean,
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to believe that actually happened to me.
Yeah.
And people ask me, have you gone to your counselor or anything? And honestly, I don't feel that me going to a counselor will help.
Yeah.
Because one, I don't remember anything, so I don't know what to talk about. They did tell me, like, if I start getting dreams or anything, to contact a doctor. And I did have one dream in the whole 11 years I did. He just appeared in my dream.
Oh, wow.
I did go talk to a doctor, but like I said, I mean, if they haven't been through it, then how can they help me?
It's true.
So,
That's true. What words they can say,
right.
It's going to be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And every day when you look in the mirror, you got to see what he did to you.
Right.
And whatnot. So, thankfully they did an amazing job because you still look beautiful, still beautiful, but did this hurt, affect your child, as far as, you moving on with the rest of your life, possibly, getting in a new relationship, her fearing that the new person will do the same thing to her mom?
I don't think that fear is in her, like, but as far as affecting, yes. I mean, since that happened, I can't get off my hip. Like, we are attached.
Yeah, y'all are. You look y'all look like sisters though. When I see y'all together, y'all really look like sisters.
Right.
But I think that that just brought y'all like super close bond wise. Like,
yes, it did. It did. I mean, like, now I can't get away from me. I can't. I mean, she's 20 years old and she's still on my hip. And I can't ask for anything. I mean, I wouldn't see it any other way, honestly.
Yeah.
But I can't get rid of her. I can't. And I don't think I ever will.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, that's a blessing though, to have that type of relationship. But, it's just a blessing for your strength, because with the injuries and with what you went through, some people would have crumbled. Some people would have probably committed suicide and, not be able to persevere and go through what you've went through. And, people can say, oh, well, they can't say you stayed too long. They can't say, oh, well, what did you do wrong? I mean, you did everything right. Mm-hmm. And here is it, you on the verge of losing your life from nothing that you did wrong. Right. Not where he caught you cheating, he caught you texting somebody else. You was out here on Twitter, doing crazy stuff, like nothing.
No, nothing.
Do you think he was on any type of drugs or under the influence of anything?
I don't know. I mean, when I tell the story, a lot of people are saying, maybe it does sound like he was maybe on like snorting coke or something. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't.
And you had no history of none of those things.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. And I mean, it's of course now, even 11 years later, around this time, it does hit me because I realize what day it is.
Yeah.
What's the date? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what helped it a lot because I don't remember. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the doctors did tell me that I may or may not get that memory back. Mm-hmm. And as crazy as it may seem, sometimes I want to remember. I want to know what happened. Mm-hmm. I just want to know from start to finish, like, did you beat me right then and there, or if you beat me throughout the night? Like, I just want to know. And I know it sounds crazy, but I do want to know.
And that was never a question that you can get clarity from him at any point?
Mm-mm. Nope. The only thing I've asked him, like, after it happened, he did try calling me, but it wasn't to check on me or anything. it was for me to drop the charges.
Wow.
Yeah. He wanted me to drop the charges. And after it was said and done, we found out that in Louisiana, he didn't have any charges like that. But doing a national search, they found that he actually did this to 3 other women.
Really?
But I was the most severe and the only one that pressed charges.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you cope with this? You know, like, just what is your coping mechanism to, you know, just carry on your day to day and not let it overpower your thoughts? You know, I guess not having the memory of it really helps you not to think back on it because, you know, but every day you wake up and you can feel, you know,
I mean, again, because I don't remember, it's not that hard. Like I said, around this time, I get emotional about it. I might think about it every now and again, but I mean, I just go day by day. I don't hate anybody, but I can say I do hate him. And it's not for so much of what he done to me, is because of what he put my family through.
Yeah.
Especially my daughter. I mean, she wasn't there when it happened, but she had to see the aftermath. And
the healing process and the whole.
And her being so young, that's why I hate him. But I mean, like I said, me not remembering, it helps out a lot.
So do you think that have an impact on your relationships going forward, like trusting men or opening up to men from?
I try not to put everybody in that category because I know not everybody is like that. But at the same time, I'll trust you. But once you show any kind of anger or something, I'm just out of it. I'm getting out of the relationship. It could work, but I'm not going to stay around to see if it will or not.
I understand.
And I mean, like Miss Eva was saying, you know, I've been diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety and all, and I mean, of course, you know, I like to play softball, but since then I don't like to go around a big crowd. I mean, I start getting antsy and I just don't like it. So I'd rather just stay home and just chill.
You retired the softball?
No, I didn't.
You still play?
I still play.
Yeah. So that's probably a good way, a good outlet, you know, staying active and
I stay busy.
Stay busy with it. You know, that's big. Anything that you'd want to offer or give women as far as a little motivation, encouragement for anybody that may be going through this type of situation. I know it wasn't one that you had any idea what happened. So it wasn't like, hey, you know, if this happens, red flags. I mean, you didn't have any red flags. Right. So, you know, getting through this, you know, what can you offer people as far as motivation to keep pushing?
I mean, if it just gets that bad, you just leave. I mean, there's nothing that's holding you to stay there. Just leave.
It's not love at all.
It's not. It's not. Love's not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to hurt. At least not like that.
Not like that.
Not like that.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and I think a lot of women will say that, you know, oh, but he loved me.
No.
Oh, he said he loved me. Or, you know, you have some women that will make excuses for their man.
Right.
Well, he didn't have a dad.
Right.
You know, so maybe he did that because he didn't. And I think that in our pain, you know, you have to love you enough not to try to justify the other person's wrong. Right. And like you said, love not supposed to do that.
It's not.
Not supposed to make you, you know, swollen eyes and, you know, bust lips, broken jaws. You know, that ain't what the word love supposed to define. You know, I think that, you know, we will have tough moments. We will have areas where we may argue or disagree, but it should never be to a point where you want to bust somebody's lip or give them a black eye, for nothing. You know, this is somebody you're supposed to protect and love. How do you say I love you, but then I want to beat you within the same sentence? That don't work out. I think a lot of men, there are some men that deal with violence. I think that some domestic violence is not always physical, but it's verbal neglect. So to the men out there that's struggling, that may be going through it, I think it's the same thing. Get out. Yeah. You know, you have a woman that wants to swing on you. They want to hit on you. Right. They want you to be a piñata. I think it's important to get out that toxic relationship. And you're not a weak man. You're not a weak person, you know, for getting out of it. You know, you're doing it for your best interest and to prevent yourself from doing something that you can go behind bars from just from reacting. Right. Because as men, you know, we the ones, you know, oh, you hit her. It don't matter how many times she hit you first. Well, you're a man. You're not supposed to. Right. So I think any domestic violence situation should be, red flags if you know ahead of time and you can see them. Don't ignore them, don't act like you didn't see it when it's clear as day in front of you.
Right.
Or maybe he's going to change one day.
No, he's not.
Maybe, it'll get better. And sometimes those small things become open wounds and they get deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where your life can be at stake.
Exactly.
I had a family member that got beat with a baseball bat and he killed her, a cousin of mine, and it was a toxic relationship. And she was in it, but she loved him and, nobody could tell her differently. And, she thought he would change. And he beat her with a bat and killed her. I have another friend of mine that committed suicide, after, dealing with the domestic violence situation. So, I think that getting out, you're loving yourself enough to leave or, getting police involved, restraining orders. But even when those protective orders are broken and those barriers are no longer protective, you got to learn to protect yourself.
Right.
And I don't like to promote violence, but I think, self-defense classes, gun safety, learning how to arm a weapon and handle a weapon seems to be one of the biggest things that a woman can do and a man can do for themselves.
And I mean, a lot of people do ask me now if I have a gun, saying that I should get one. But at the same time, it's like, thank God I didn't have one 11 years ago, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Which, hey, self-defense,
yeah.
So, I always tell people, research gun laws and get familiar with the laws because, cameras are important, especially if you're in a domestic violence situation, put some cameras out, put cameras in your home if you can. So that way, if you can catch that altercation on camera and if you respond out of self-defense, then you got the footage you need to not be behind bars in those situations. And unfortunately, you got to protect yourself with all the technology we have. As far as cameras, audio, you got to build your case to get out of some of those situations. And I know people say, "Oh, I love him," but you got to love you enough.
Right.
You got to love you enough, especially when you have kids that's watching. Because if you allow this to happen, then your daughter or your son is going to think that this is common, it's normal, and then now they allow it to happen, and then now you're seeing your offspring dealing with the same thing that you dealt with. Right. And how can you tell her, "Oh, girl, don't deal with it, don't put up with this," when you did it?
Right.
When you did it. So, man, that's
and
something.
I mean, even from this experience, I think my daughter, she's at that age, she's dating and all, but she doesn't take shit from nobody. No.
Which is good.
It is.
Which is good.
So,
I mean, your no's have to be no's, your yeses be yeses. And when you put your foot down or what you're not going to tolerate, you got to mean that.
Right.
Because I'm not going to lie, as a man, when we mess up and y'all take us back, and we mess up again and y'all take us back, and we mess up, we just be like, "Hey, I know how to butter up. I'm going to just cry and say I'm sorry." And men sometimes use that. "Oh, he cried. Cried just to get you back." Them tears, yeah.
I gotta cry too. I mean, I could cry too.
He cried. Oh, he cried. He must admit it. He cried, but again, you so caught up into trauma bonds, you so caught up into putting somebody else before you, you're gonna make excuses for them.
Right.
And I know a lot of women that'll do that. Well, Uncle Luck, he didn't have this upbringing. Oh, I don't want him to go to jail. You want him to keep beating you?
Yeah, great.
Maybe when he go to jail, somebody gonna beat him in
exactly.
there. He gonna see what it's like,
exactly.
when he meets somebody in there.
Exactly.
So I feel like when your life is at stake, don't worry about nobody else's. All your energy got to go into yours and putting yourself in a safe environment. So, even the ones that'll be, well, he said he's gonna hurt himself. He said he's gonna kill himself. Or he said he's gonna jump off a bridge if I leave him. I'm sorry. I do, how they say that? How they do out of form? I'm sorry, but God, that's on him because if you choose to hurt yourself. Don't hurt me and then hurt yourself. Let me be free. Right. If you want to do something to yourself, by all means, you got to answer to God for it. But anybody in that situation where you stay in because you're scared of what he gonna do to himself, that's his decision. Right. Put yourself at safety, put your kids at safety, and get out of that. So you went to counseling and
Yes,
tried some of it, but
I
again,
did. It just didn't.
they can't relate to what you've.
No.
What you,
I mean, like I
you've been
said,
through.
if you haven't been in that situation or close to that situation, there's nothing you could tell me to make it better.
To make it better, that's true.
Not at all.
That's true. So, man, this is, whew, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough. Because I remember, hearing about the situation and hearing about everything, and it was just like, ain't no way. I didn't believe it.
Right.
When I got, I'm like, what? Man, no.
Yeah.
I just seen it to work with my mama, because
Right, yeah.
and just things like that,
That's the same reaction I had. Like, no, no.
No.
And
Yeah.
I'm kid you not, my mama has to really tell me this story like 2-3 times because I did not want
And
to
it's
believe
crazy
her.
because you're not a sassy person. You're not a person where, and like, you just the quiet, just,
Right.
and that's why it's just like crazy, like,
And that goes to show you that it could happen to anybody.
to anybody,
Anybody.
Wow. So it's important now with social media and all the outlets, man, figure out, y'all better talk to some of them exes. Figure out why he broke up with that, why he broke up with her. Because we gonna always lie and say it was the woman.
Of course.
Oh, she was crazy. I broke up with her. No, sometimes if that ex is in your inbox saying "boo run," don't say, "Oh, well, she won him." Listen to her, because sometimes you gotta listen to the exes that might slide in your DM to protect you. Look, he did this to me. I just want you to know what he's capable of. It is not that she want him back. She's just trying to save your life.
Right.
So sometimes y'all be hating them exes. Y'all better befriend them. God, tell me what you went through. What's the warning sign so you can give me an upper hand on that situation.
Right.
Unfortunately, I hate that there are some men that are like that, controlling. As a man, I've seen a lot of dysfunction growing up at some points in life. Other people's relationship growing up in the hood, you see people arguing, you hear fighting, and you think that that's normal.
Right.
You operate out as normal,
Yeah.
And as men, we are not taught what love is. We're not taught how to take care of a woman, treat a woman. I can remember we had the Cosby Show. We had shows that we would watch that would kind of show us an example. But if we didn't see it from our fathers growing up, then when we got out there and we started, operating as a teenager or as a young adult, we made mistakes.
Right.
And the trial and errors were taught most of us, and sometimes it was at the expense of having a baby with a woman that you really wasn't serious about, or, getting into a confrontation, getting into a situation because you're just learning from experiences, life experiences, not from what you were taught. So I think that it's important for men to learn communication skills. How can you be a good relationship companion if you can't communicate?
Right.
We go to our jobs and we learn, learn how to type, learn this for a job. But what are you learning for a relationship?
Right.
And I think that's important, to learn effective communication, how to communicate, how to take a time out. Hey, Jennifer, look, I'm getting upset. Let's take a time out. Let's not let this argument go. Let's revisit this before it becomes something that can get hostile. Right. I think all those conversations are important in relationships to avoid physical, verbal abuse, because I think all of those things are avoidable with the proper communication.
It is.
It is. So anything you want to touch on before we end this segment of this podcast, with anybody that's out there listening to you?
I mean, once again, if you see red flags, just get out of it.
Just get out of it.
Just get out of it. There's no need to stay in it. It's not going to get better. Just get out of it.
That ain't love.
It's not.
It's not love.
It's
It's not love at all.
At all.
And you can't let somebody else have him.
Yeah. Let them go through. Let them
Let
go
somebody
through.
else have
Let
it.
them get a broken jaw, 2 black eyes, and let them good.
Yeah. So right now, do you feel any pain, or is it fully
Right now, I still deal with daily headaches.
headaches?
And I still have some nerves that is not working, and I still feel, I mean, of course you won't see them, but I know that it's there, and I know that they're dead and not working. I could tell like some of my teeth, like the nerves are dead, so some of my teeth are gonna turn black eventually. Like, yeah. So
I got you.
there's
So-
a few physical things.
Physical things you just got to deal with. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Got you. So again, y'all, we have the Faith House, the 24-hour crisis line, 1-888-411-1333. Again, the 24-hour crisis line with the Faith House, 1-888 411-1333. Also, there's the local outreach centers, 337-232-8954. In any rural area, there is local outreach centers that you can have for your city. If you're going through any type of domestic violence situation, please seek some type of help. Tell somebody that you can trust. Get with your local law enforcement to try and set restraining orders. But it's important that you get out. Some people will say, "Oh, I'm scared to leave and I'm scared to talk to anybody."
Right.
Well, you're gonna have to choose which battle.
Right.
If you stay, you're not increasing your opportunity to live.
Exactly.
Because you're constantly staying in that environment. So at least leaving, you give yourself an opportunity to survive by putting yourself in some type of protective care.
Right.
So, Miss Jennifer Duffy, y'all, is with us on Table Talk with Uncle Luck. It's what it is, Table Talk is what we calling it. Domestic violence is real. Men go through it. Women go through it. You are a survivor. Look at you. Y'all give her a round of applause, y'all. She is a survivor. An amazing, beautiful soul, y'all. If y'all had to come in contact with her, she's amazing. I just thank God for the opportunity to know you and the opportunity for you to be able to be here to tell your story, because this story is going to be worth somebody else living, giving them encouragement to keep fighting and to keep trying. So again, y'all, this podcast is sponsored by Elite Construction. Y'all hit them up for any of your construction needs, flipping, renovation, roofs, plumbing, electrical, you name it. Elite Construction got you covered. This podcast is powered by the Yard Studios. So any of your podcast needs, your commercials, photography, anything you need branding wise, social media management, marketing, the Yard Studios got you covered, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.